So welcome to Paritranaya. In the previous class, we were discussing about the PYQs of 2025, right? So we concluded the PYQs related to environment of 2025. Next, we shall begin with, and there are a few questions of environment related itself. So there will be slight confusion whether they fall under the part of environment or science and technology. And few questions we will be covering as part of science and technology. Okay, science and technology. Okay, so this was the last question that we discussed. Okay, wet bulb temperature, right? So a few of you even claim that the first one is also right as per few other institutes, right? So second one is correct, but first one, after later on someone had come claiming that some institute has also given first as right. So we shall cross verify only once the official answer key has been released. Probably in the month of April, when the answer key will be released, at that time we shall cross verify. Okay, cross verify. So next, I think it's 2024 question. Okay, 2024. Okay. So the atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation than by terrestrial radiation. Carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are good absorbers of long wave radiation. Okay, long wave radiation. So what's the answer? Yes. So whether one is correct? False. One is false, two is correct. Okay, two is correct. Now based on this question, so what kind of what information that we are supposed to prepare, or in the upcoming year what kind of question might appear? Okay, might appear. So we will prepare it holistically. Okay, holistically. The atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation and next terrestrial radiation. Okay, terrestrial radiation. So what is the difference between incoming solar radiation and terrestrial radiation? Okay, so when it comes to solar radiation, incoming solar radiation, so it is generally, we call it as short wave. Okay, short wave. Next, terrestrial radiation, long wave. Okay, long wave. Next, sometimes interchangeably, rather than using long wave, we also use a term called as infrared. Okay, infrared. Now the question that arises, because when it comes to environment, every year the nature of question will evolve. Okay, so you cannot compare exactly with the previous year; it will evolve. So for that evolution, in what fashion we can prepare? Okay, and probably in 2023 also there was a similar kind of question which we will be discussing after 2024. Okay, 24. Now, okay, terrestrial radiation, long wave or infrared radiation. Now it comes to electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, so GX, UV, IMR, gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet, visible, infrared. Next, microwaves and radio waves. Okay, radio waves. So here when it comes to incoming solar radiation, does it not consist any amount of infrared? Okay. So now means we'll go to the next level. What fashion they can frame a question? Already they have framed a similar kind of question. So when it comes to incoming solar radiation, so what all it consists of? It consists of visible light. It consists of visible light. Visible light. It consists of UV. Next, it consists of IR. Very important. It also consists of IR, infrared. Now, out of curiosity, so whether only these three are present or anything else is also present? The radiation consists of only these three radiations or also others? Others as well? Okay. Now here, these are dominant, visible, ultraviolet and infrared, these are dominant. Okay. Next question is, what proportion is visible, what proportion is ultraviolet, what proportion is infrared? Can you just search? Just search it. So what is the composition of incoming solar radiation? Because see, we are not interested only in the answer. In the upcoming year, in what fashion the question might be framed. So we are interested in those aspects. Just search what is the proportion, what are the components of incoming solar radiation. Okay. Otherwise explicitly you can search like this. So whether ultraviolet is part of it, whether visible is part of it, whether infrared is part of it, apart from them, are there any other radiations which are part of incoming solar radiation? Also percentage, approximate percentage would be beneficial. Probably somewhere around 49 to 50, I think it is infrared. Just cross verify. Highest is infrared or visible? Infrared. What is the proportion of infrared? Yes, 50. Next, visible? 50. Okay. But by referring to multiple other sources, you will generally find out that the infrared component is more. Somewhere, let's assume 50%. Visible light is? Okay, we'll take is 45. Means the proportion of which is more? Infrared is more and visible is less. How about ultraviolet? 2 to 8%. We'll take it as a 3%. Apart from these radiations, are there any other important radiations? No. So now we got to know that the incoming solar radiation consists of visible light, infrared, as well as ultraviolet. Now the question arises. So we say that the Earth's atmospheric heating will take place because of outgoing solar radiation. Sorry, outgoing radiation, not solar radiation, outgoing radiation. So outgoing radiation is infrared. So if it can absorb infrared which is outgoing, why it can't absorb the incoming infrared? Okay. So here, see, these are the next level of question that we are asked to ourselves, because we have to place ourselves into the footsteps of UPSC, in what way they are going to frame the questions. Now, what we have learned, so terrestrial radiation, okay, so terrestrial radiation is being absorbed by greenhouse gases, okay, greenhouse gases. Why these greenhouse gases will not absorb the incoming, what, infrared radiation? This is very important. So then infrared is short wave or long wave? Okay. Then incoming radiation, it does not consist of any kind of infrared, because if infrared is long wave. See, almost 50% is infrared. Yes? No. Ozone is only associated with ultraviolet. It is not associated with what? Infrared. See, answer is very easy, but we want to prepare for the next level. So we have to ask a question to ourselves. So we have seen in multiple sources that the outgoing radiation, which is also called as long wave radiation, and also alternatively we use a term called as infrared radiation. So the greenhouse gases which are present in the atmosphere, they will absorb the outgoing radiation. Okay. So why is that specifically so, that it absorbs the outgoing infrared radiation but not the incoming infrared radiation? No. Okay. So here when you search for the reason, you will get to know that incoming radiation also consists of infrared. We call it as near infrared, whose what? It's not long wave, it is short wave. So when it is incoming, IR is there, but it is not long wave, it is short wave. Okay, it is short wave. So the incoming solar radiation also consists of infrared, but it is a short wave. Hence greenhouse gases cannot absorb short wave. But the infrared radiation which is going out is a long wave. Now again we will not go into those technical aspects. What is short wave and long wave? Short wave, long wave. Okay. So it is outgoing radiation is long wave. Hence it is absorbed by the greenhouse gases. So next they may focus like this. So somewhere in 2023 we have a similar kind of question. So once we go to that question, then we will be able to connect it very easily. So we got to know that incoming solar radiation consists of highest which entity? Infrared. Next is ultraviolet. Sorry, next is visible, third is ultraviolet. Okay, third is ultraviolet. But the infrared, the incoming infrared, why it is not being absorbed? Because it's a short wave. Okay, short wave. After it hits the ground, once a visible light hits the ground, so Earth will be warmed up, and then it will start emitting the radiation. That radiation is a long wave. So when it is going back, at that time what happens? The greenhouse gases will trap. Okay, will trap. So whether the Earth's atmosphere will be heated by the incoming solar radiation, at least to some extent. Yes, to some extent it will be heated, okay, but predominantly it will be heated by the outgoing long wave radiation, which we generally call it as what? Infrared radiation. So when it comes to incoming infrared radiation, we call it as near infrared or short wave infrared, okay, short wave infrared. So hence the atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation than by terrestrial radiation. False, okay, the atmosphere is heated more by terrestrial radiation than by incoming solar radiation. Next, here itself you will pose a question to yourself. It means no amount of atmospheric heating takes place through incoming solar radiation. True or false? False. Because there are some greenhouse gases which absorb both incoming radiation as well as outgoing radiation. Can you give me one example of such greenhouse gas? Water vapor. Okay, water vapor. Next, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are good absorbers of long wave radiation. Okay, they are good absorbers of long wave radiation. So which are the other greenhouse gases? As per the UNFCCC, methane, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, perfluorocarbons, sulfur hexafluoride, hydrofluorocarbons. Okay, so these are the other greenhouse gases, so which are good absorbers of long wave radiation. So one particular greenhouse gas which can absorb both incoming as well as outgoing radiation is water vapor. Okay, water vapor. So in this fashion you will prepare. Okay, in this fashion you will prepare. Similarly, in this context, if you want to go to the static part, like which one has a longer duration, which one will stay in the atmosphere for a longer period of time, and next which one has a higher global warming potential. So all those things you can revise. Okay, revise. So the answer is statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Next, with reference to perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances that are used in making many consumer products, consider the following statements. So these questions are tough. Okay. So whatsoever strategy we build, so in the examination again a completely new kind of substance will appear. So we are not going to explore any extra things from this question point of view. So we'll just build a generic approach. What is that generic approach? Whenever such substances they appear as part of the question, we'll take a generic stand. So those substances will appear because somewhere they are harmful to the environment. Okay. If you look at the statements, you'll come to know that they are harmful to the environment. So they are found to be widespread in drinking water, food and food packaging materials. PFAS are not easily degraded in the environment. Okay. Persistent exposure to PFAS can lead to bioaccumulation in animal bodies. So the second and third one, it means they are something negative. Okay, they are something negative. If you look at the options, okay, if you look at the options, so 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. So somewhere 2 and 3 will be part of the answer. Okay. So now we are confused about 1, 2 and 3 and 2 and 3. So in such cases, where they are used in drinking water, food and food packaging materials, so we don't know, okay, because we don't know the list of items which are used in the food packaging materials, and also it is difficult to now go and search and make an entire list also. So now if possible, based on this question, you can explore few things. Okay, you can explore few things. But what I will urge is, in the examination, if you are not aware also, you take risk. Okay, if 2 and 3 are generic statement which is having a negative impact on the environment, then we'll take a generic stand and we'll mark it as 1, 2 and 3. So it's completely a riskier step. But in such questions, we are not going to leave it, because at least we have some idea. So when such around 3 to 4 such questions are there, in 3 to 4 questions, at least if one becomes correct, then also it will it may exactly what 3 will go wrong. 3 will go wrong means 0.66 into 3, 1.8. Okay, somehow, fortunately, if 2 become right, then you will gain. Okay, you will gain. So in such questions, you are not going to leave. You will touch that question. You will touch that question. Now, based on this question, if you try to explore which are the other substances used in packaging materials, okay, you will get an entire list. Very easily, you can find it in the internet. But the problem is how you are going to retain the content. So in the previous question, we'll be considering it as a static part. So a question might repeat on the same concept or related to it. But here, we cannot guarantee it. Okay, we cannot guarantee. Hence, what we'll do, based on the previous year question itself, we'll just explore few things. And already I have explored. As part of the 2024 driven content I have explored. So I'll be sharing that content with you. You can just go through it. So here, these are used in drinking water, food and food packaging materials. They are not easily degraded. So what is degradation? Okay, decay and decomposition should happen, so that is called as degradation. So can lead to bioaccumulation. So what is accumulation? Bioaccumulation. In one person, more amount will start accumulating, or the trophical level, higher the trophical level, more accumulation will take place. Yes, in human body, accumulation will take place. What is biomagnification? As you go to the higher trophic levels, accumulation over that what concentration will increase. Okay, concentration will increase. So we'll just focus on what is bioaccumulation. Okay, so what is degradation? So which organisms can naturally degrade a substance? Bacteria can do it. Virus can do it. Okay, virus is not considered as a decomposer. So in this context, just basically you will focus on some aspects and you'll just leave it. Okay, leave it. You will not explore. Okay, and just because of this one question, you are not going to refer the magazines of some institutes. In some science and technology page, somewhere they may claim that one question has appeared. But for that one question, you will not read the entire science and technology. Okay, at least at this moment. So once May 24 is over, then you have luxury of time. Then you can go through each and every line and you can become master as well. Next, consider the following parasitoid species are found in how many of the above kind of organisms. So in 2024, based on this question paper, when we had prepared, So from various sources we got to know that there were 4 species which are parasitoidic species. But after when the official answer key was released, okay, official answer key was released, so it was what, only 3. Only 3 species among them are what, parasitoid species. So what are parasitoidic species? Living on the host, okay, living on the host. So now here, what is the answer? Can you? Only 3 is the answer, but which are those 3? Just search it once. Which are the 3? Beetles, centipedes, flies, termites, wasps. Yes, which one? Flies is there. Okay, fly is the what? 1, 3 and 5. Okay. Now what you are going to do it, you are not going to find the list of parasitoidic species, because they are not going to again ask a question of the same parasitoid kind of behavior. They will focus completely a new question. Okay, new question. Just based on this question, okay, I'll be also sharing the content. You just need to know what are beetles, how do they look. Okay, I'll be also sharing the image as well. You can go through it. Centipedes, what are they? Termites, what are they? Flies, wasps. By just looking at the image, you'll get to know what kind of organisms they are. Okay, organisms they are. After that, you will conclude that beetles, flies, and wasp. So they are. Some species are parasitic. Okay, parasitic. Whereas no species of centipede and no species of termites, they are parasites. Okay, so no parasitic species found. Just previous year driven itself you will mark. You are not going to prepare anything extra, at least at this time. Okay. And also one more what we had used here is, whenever there are 5 options, this we had used, right, previous year. Whenever there are 5 options, so this is completely a blind approach. Okay, blind approach when you don't have any weapons. So what we will do, we'll just mark it as 3. And we cannot guarantee it. Sometimes it may even backfire as well. But based on this question, if you start preparing the list of species, then it will become very, very exhaustive. Okay, very, very exhaustive. Practically, it will be impossible for us to retain the content. At least based on this question, okay, based on this question, some information we have added. And next, when you get time, we will start adding more information. At the end moment, if you are not able to recall, apart from parasitoidic species, if they mention about few other species which you are not aware also, just you will take you will make a wild guess, and you will mark it as 3, and sometimes even it may backfire as well. Okay, backfire as well. But we need to have all the weapons. Okay, all the weapons. See here, many institutes, they had released the answer key saying it as 4. Okay, 4. And even if you search the internet also, so it is 4. But when the official answer key was released, it was 3. Okay, it was 3. So confusing. When there are so many confusing aspects, so need not think multiple times and waste your time. Okay. So in the first round, you will not touch such kind of questions. In the last round, when you have last 5 to 10 minutes, what you will do? You will just blindly mark it as 3. Okay, mark it as 3. And later on, don't claim, sir, you said 3, hence I missed the cutoff by 0.5 marks. Okay, so sometimes when you mark, some questions will also become right as well, and sometimes some questions will also become wrong, and you will lose negative marks as well. Because generally say that, so in human beings, no, so the behavior is like this. So what success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. Whenever we succeed in anything, then we will say that we will attribute it to our hard work. Okay, so I worked hard like anything from morning to evening I worked, so because of that I got success. Okay, but when you fail, I would have easily passed, but I went there, that's why I failed. So that should not happen. So this question we will ignore. Why we will ignore? Because UPS itself has not given an answer for this, and there is a confusion as well. Because in 2022 the Wildlife Protection Act was amended. Okay, amended. Now we can go back to Wildlife Protection Act. So as per the present Wildlife Protection Act, how many schedules are there? There are 4 schedules. Previously there were 6 schedules. Now there are 4 schedules. Okay, 4 schedules. You can go through the content. What does the first schedule say? What does the second schedule say? What does the third schedule and fourth schedule say? So whether there is a schedule which for vermin specifically now? Okay, now there is no specific schedule which deals with vermin. What is a vermin? At least we need to understand the term vermin. What is vermin? Okay, so vermin means anything which causes harm to the, especially plants and crops. Okay, such species we call it as vermin. Okay, vermin. Example, pigs. Okay, so there in some states they have been declared as vermins. Okay, vermins. Elephant will not call them as vermin, because if you call them as vermin, then you have the permission to kill it. Okay, to hunt them, because they are vermin. Okay, hence elephant will not call it as vermin. So it will be declared specifically by the government. Okay, as rat is a vermin. The organisms cicada, froghopper, and pond skater. Okay, so these are what? These are insects. Again, confusing, but the common one which we generally we find in our discussions, which is a species, froghopper. So hence they have given multiple entities. At least with the one entity, we should be able to identify the species. It's a insect. Now what you will do? Will you make a list of all the insects? No. At least the common species which you know. So what they are called as? For example, if you take an ant, can you call it as an insect? Spider, for example, can you call it as an insect? Okay. So similarly, in day-to-day life, whatever the species which we see, which we witness, so whether they are called as insects, can we call bee as an insect? Okay. So I am just giving you an idea. Whichever species you are able to recall, whichever species if you are able to connect, you just find out whether it's an insect or something else. Okay, something else. Okay. Next, birds we already know, fish we know, reptiles. So what are reptiles? Example of reptiles. Snake is an example of reptile. Next, crocodiles. Yes. Previous year, whether this driven content I had shared with you, PYQ driven content had I shared with you, just verify. The last notes whether it is there. Okay, not this year, previous year. This year I have not included it. Okay, anyhow, later on we can verify. So I had prepared this content in 2025 itself. But anyhow, at least we need to know what are reptiles. Okay, what are reptiles? So similar kind of questions they have asked. In some other year they have asked about a bird. Okay, these species what they are bird. Okay, so such kind of questions they do appear. Okay, they do appear. Again, if you know, then you can mark. Otherwise, no. In such questions, you will not take risk. In such questions, you will not take a risk and you will mark. If you are completely unaware, you will just leave it. Okay, we will leave it, because here we cannot eliminate. We cannot eliminate. Hence, it will be difficult. Okay, difficult. But here, froghopper is a common insect. So hence, what we will do? We will based on that we will mark it as insect. Okay, insect. Now see here. Now in 2025. In 2025, we have seen some kind of questions. So yesterday we saw, right, a spider. Which was a spider? Peacock tarantula. Okay. So we got to know that it is the largest critically endangered spider in India. Okay, somehow. So out of curiosity, when you are preparing, whether they ask it or not, so you you ask to yourself. So which is the largest? Okay, largest insect found in India. Okay, which is the largest insect found in India? So in that fashion, you can just add. Okay, you can add. So which is the largest insect found in India? Which is the largest insect? Whether in case of insects also, do we have a term called as endangered, critically endangered? If it is so, we will search which is the largest critically endangered insect in India. Okay, insect in India. So which are the species which are commonly known as insects? Okay, insects. So in this fashion, you will add content here. Okay, you will add content here. Yes. Giant atlas. So what is it? Largest insect. So you just add it. Okay. So next search whether there is any critically endangered insect in India. So now butterflies are also considered as insects. Yes. Beetles, butterflies, dragonflies. So these are insects. No, these are very generic word. See, insects, butterflies, beetles, and dragonfly. Okay, so butterfly is a very generic word. Again, in butterfly, there are multiple different butterflies. Now, what you can do here is in the notes, butterfly is an example of an insect. Okay, next, beetles is an example of an insect. Dragonfly is an example of an insect. Insect. In that fashion, what you can find? You can, if out of curiosity, which is the largest butterfly in India? Especially one or two states have declared a butterfly as a state butterfly. Maharashtra has declared a butterfly as a state butterfly. Similarly, Karnataka has declared a butterfly as a state butterfly. Okay. But again, what you do? Later on you complete this exercise. Because it will consume a lot of time, I am just giving you an idea. Okay, giving you an idea. Similarly, in the first round you will not do all this exercise. Whenever you are going for the second round, through the same question paper, and you already are aware of these things, so you want to explore for more information. At that time, you will explore for more information. Okay, reptiles. So again, you can find out which is the largest reptile. Which is the largest reptiles? Okay, among the reptiles, which one is largest? Okay, snakes, among the snakes, which one is the largest? So this year I have made a separate notes for snakes itself. Okay, so which is the largest snake, which is the most venomous snake? Saltwater crocodile, so we'll write it, saltwater crocodile. Okay, I am not giving you complete notes, I am just giving you idea in what fashion you are supposed to ask a question to yourself and accordingly what? Compile the content. Okay, compile the content. Similarly, you can do it for birds, smallest, okay, smallest and largest critically endangered, largest critically endangered bird. In that fashion, you can complete the exercise. Okay. Next, consider the following. Many chewing gums found in the market are considered as a source of environmental pollution. Many chewing gums contain plastic as a gum base. Okay. So even the person who has got first rank also, okay, or top 10 rankers also may not be aware of this answer. Okay. It is not that only we are not aware. So there will be many aspirants who will be unaware of it. Only after going through the question paper we will realize that yes, there is some kind of plastic which exists in the what? Chewing gums as well. Okay. So here what is the answer? 1 is correct, 2 is correct, and 2 is the correct explanation for 1. So it means we got to know that plastic is used even in chewing gums. Okay, chewing gums. Now, if you follow this pattern in 2025 also, probably we did not discuss under environment, I have placed that question under science and technology, probably. So in 2025 there is a question, there are 3 options which were given, in how many of the above is plastic used? So probably one was cigarette bud, cigarette bud was there, next. 2 more options are there, okay, 2 more options. So in all those 3 options, in all the 3 entities which they had mentioned, plastic is used. Okay, plastic is used. Rubber tire, yes. One is rubber tire, one is cigarette bud, one more was? The third option, something is there. Now see here, if you make a list of entities where plastic is used, then the list is endless. The list is endless. What I will urge is, whenever in the examination such question appears, you don't have to think twice. Okay, even if your question goes wrong also, you will mark it as all 3. Okay, you will mark it as all 3. Okay, because see, if you look at cigarette, generally no one will have an understanding that even a cigarette butt consists of plastic. Eyeglasses easily we can say it consists of plastic. Even tires also we can say that it consists of plastic. But when it comes to cigarette, generally we will not be able to connect it. But again, it is mentioned that cigarette butt also has a plastic content in it. So from this, we shall build a not specific perspective. We shall build a generalist perspective. So whenever such a question appears, we shall, without thinking multiple times, in the first go itself, we shall mark it as all 3. Okay, all 3. And here also, many chewing gums contain plastic as a what? Gum base. If a similar kind of question appears, okay, so again, if they say that the chapatis which every day we consume, it consists of plastic. Okay, again, we will not go to that extreme level. So here in case of chewing gum, obviously after taking its flavor, you will spit it back. Okay, that is different. So again, don't take it in a very, very generalist sense. Okay, no. So you will come to know by looking at the option. So in such cases, we'll just take a generalist stand that yes, it is correct. Okay, it's correct. So based on this, again, we are not going to explore for more information. So wherever plastic comes, we'll just draw a generic conclusion that it is correct. Okay, it's correct. Now, if you start exploring here, there is no end. Okay, hence environment why it is tough, because there are so many books, but no one can claim that almost all the questions have come from our book. Okay, our book. So it's tough. It's tough. We have to take a generic stand. Next, consider the following statements. Lions do not have a particular breeding season. Okay. Unlike most other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. Unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. Okay, scent marking. So this question, again, it's about current affairs, but we'll prepare it now as static part. Why it is current affairs? In the context of cheetah, what? Relocation to India. Okay, relocation to India. So cheetah had become extinct in India and we brought cheetah into India. So first we brought cheetah from which country? Yes, Namibia. From Namibia we brought it and first we brought it to which place? Kuno Palpur, right? Kuno Palpur National Park in Madhya Pradesh. Next, this was the first phase. We also recently brought in the second phase from some other country. South Africa. Where did we introduce? Okay, Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary. So here I have compiled, even if you are not able to find it now, what you do, just out of curiosity. So cheetahs were brought from which all countries in the recent past and where all they have been introduced. So one is Kuno Palpur, which are the other places where they have been introduced. Okay, where they have been introduced. So previous year compilation I'll be sharing it with you. So here, apart from cheetah, what I have done is I have focused on all the big cats. So there are six varieties of cats. Okay, we call them as big cats. Okay, big cats. So here, lion is a part of big cat, cheetah is a part of big cat. Next, leopard is a part of big cat, tiger is a part of a big cat. So about all the 6 cats, I have included the information. Okay, for all the these cats, what information you will focus on based on this question. So lions do not have a particular breeding season. See here, lion does not have a particular breeding season. True or false? First, we will come to the conclusion of the answer. So unlike most of the big cats, cheetahs do not roar. Okay, so 2 is correct. 2 is correct. So if 2 is correct, there are 3 such options. Next, unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. So here, generalist idea we need to have, all the 6 big cats are involved in scent marking. What is scent marking? They will proclaim that all this area belongs to me, it is my territory. Okay, so there is a famous dialect, Ivruttadal Rodella. Okay, similar to that, they declare by scent marking. So this scent marking behavior is exhibited by all the 6 big cats. 6 big cats. Okay, hence what we will do, we will take a generalist stand, we will eliminate. Don't proclaim that. Okay, so we will eliminate 3, we are left with what? Options 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2. That is, lions do not have a particular breeding season. Unlike most other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. Now here already this question is over, but we are interested in the upcoming year. What kind of question can be framed? Okay, what kind of question can be framed? So here we look into various perspectives. So again, the content which I have, I will be sharing it with you, but continuously again we will be updating the content whenever a new question arises in you. Okay, arises in you. So what we will do? Lions do not have a particular breeding season. Now in place of lion, I will place tiger, cheetah, leopard. Okay, which are the other big cats? 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 2? Yes? Okay, another big cat? Jaguar. Okay, jaguar. Now what you will do for all these species? Whether tiger have a particular breeding season? No. Whether cheetah has a particular breeding season? No. Leopard has a particular breeding season? No. Puma has a particular breeding season? No. Jaguar has a particular breeding season? No. Next, apart from the breeding season, what we will do? Just based on some previous year question paper content, we will also add some extra information. Okay, extra information. For example, in 2020 question, there was a question related to gestation period. Gestation period. What we will do? What is the gestation period of lion? What is the gestation period for tiger, cheetah, leopard, puma, jaguar? Here, out of curiosity, what you can add? Among the 6 big cats, which one has the longest gestation period? Longest gestation period. So approximately they are around 100 days, okay, 90 to 100 or 110 days. So which one of the following big cats has the longest gestation period? So this curiosity driven information you will add, okay, you will add. And also it will build a sense of satisfaction for you. You will feel that yes, I have prepared for environment. Okay, I have prepared completely. In that sense will be built, and once it is built, it will raise our confidence. Okay, raise our confidence. That plays a very important role. Okay, so lions do not have a particular breeding season. Based on this, we compile this content. Next, coming to cheetah, we will specifically prepare more for cheetahs. Because cheetahs have been introduced in India, so here we will add to which all place they have been introduced in India and from where they have been brought. From where they have been brought. So among these 6 big cats, why is cheetah famous for? It is the fastest runner. We will add this information. It is the fastest runner. Okay, fastest runner. Now, unlike most other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. How about others? Do they roar? Whether all of them roar, or are there any entities which do not roar? So all the other big cats apart from cheetah, okay, all of them they roar. So lion roars, tiger roars, leopard roars, puma roars, jaguar roars, but cheetah does not roar. It does not roar. So you build the content. Okay, build the content. Next, unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. Okay, so all the big cats, including cheetah, they are involved in scent marking. So lion is involved in scent marking, tiger is involved in scent marking, cheetah is involved in scent marking, leopard, puma, jaguar. So I'll write it. Okay. So this is the first round of information which you have compiled. Now it will boost your confidence. Means to some extent you have an information with you. Next, what you will do, among the 6 big cats, which all cats are present in India? Do we have lions in India? Yes. Do we have tigers? Do we have leopards? Do we have cheetahs? Yes, recently introduced. How about puma? How about jaguars? So out of curiosity you will find, so where they are located? Where is puma located? Generally, where is jaguar located? Okay, jaguar located. Okay, so in this fashion, you will compile the information so that if any question appears for the next year, you will prepare for the same. Okay, you will prepare for the same. Okay. So are there any other questions which you can raise here in this context so that we can add the answer? Okay, that we can add. Very good. Okay, nocturnal. This nocturnal, what we will do is, we will add only to the species which are present in India. For example, tiger, cheetah, leopard, puma. Very important. Behavior. So nocturnal and diurnal. So this you can add. Very good. Next. Is there anything else we can add?
Whether they are present in group and whether male or female are living in that group.
Okay. Just you can check it. But generally when it comes to big cats, I think they are not in herd. They will generally roam individually. But again, anyhow, that's a good question. You can verify. Okay. Herd or single, led by male or female. Okay. Led by male or female, especially in the context of that elephant in 2020 question that has appeared. Okay, that has appeared, so that you can add. Okay, out of curiosity you can add. Next, any other questions that you can raise? Now I think it's sufficient. Gradually, again, if you require more, you can do it. Again, when you are doing this process, you need to know where you have to stop, because we are not going to do a research on big cats. We want to crack the examination, and from that examination point of view, what is the extent of information that we have to add, that we have to compile? Okay, that is very important. Okay, that is very important. Okay, so here only if you know answer, you will do it, otherwise no. So 100 million farmers, which one of the following is the correct description? So such terms, they do appear. Okay, they do appear. So what's the answer here? 100 million farmers. What is the official answer key? Just A? Okay. So it's a platform for accelerating the transition towards food and water systems that are net zero, nature positive, that aims to increase farmer resilience. Okay, resilience. So here, based on option itself, you will prepare. So what is net zero? Net zero means there is zero emission of carbon dioxide. Yes? Okay, whatever we emit, we also absorb. The total amount of emission, so please, so the total emission and total absorption, both of them are equal. Okay, equal. So if the emission is more and absorption is less, what do we call it as? Net zero. Okay, so there is some source which emits more but absorbs less. What do we call it as? We call it as carbon source, which is the opposite, which emits less and absorbs more. Carbon sink. We'll use the term called as, even sequester is correct, but particular term is the sequestration, the net sequester of carbon dioxide. We call it as what? Carbon sink. Which is the largest carbon sink in the world? Ocean. Okay, after oceans? When it comes to terrestrial ecosystems, which is the largest carbon sink? Peatlands. Okay, peatlands. So see here, previously we were not aware, but in the last 2 to 3 years they have been focusing on that aspect. So when it comes to peatland, where do we find the largest peatland? Congo Basin. Okay, Congo Basin. So when it comes to Amazon and Congo, which one is the net absorber, more absorber of carbon dioxide? Congo. Okay, Congo. So these things, if you are not aware, you will not be able to answer. But again, in the examination, you after going through the option, you can take some decision. Okay. Which one of the okay 24 question? Okay. Which one of the following shows a unique relationship with an insect that has co-evolved with it, and that is the only insect that can pollinate this tree? So what is the answer? It's fig. Already we know about this answer. But now, if a similar kind of question appears, okay, what will be your strategy? So here in the notes, this time I compiled. You can just go through a content called as a mutualism type of content. Somewhere I added. Just go through index and go through page number. Mutualism. ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೋರ್ತೀವಿ ಹೋಗೋದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು ಒಂದೇನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೊಂಡೋದ್ರೆ ಕುಂದ್ರಿ ಬಟ್ ಭಾಳ ಇನ್ನು ಇದು ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. Okay, so you are able to locate fig in that content. Are you able to locate fig? Because using that fig as an base, I have compiled the other material. Yes. Fig, okay. Now corresponding to that fig, I have mentioned few other species there. Can you just recall them? Fig and wasp. Next. Ants, fungus. Ants, fungus. Next. Beetles and fungi. Next. Termites, fungus. Next. Yes. Okay. Termites, gut protozoa. Next. Okay. Corals and zooxanthal. Okay. Zooxanthal. Lichens and mosses. No, lichens, only lichens itself. Okay, lichens. Okay. Now what you can do, you can go through that content. We are not sure whether we will be getting a question from that, but based on that base, I have compiled this material. Okay, I have compiled this material. So at least rather than going through each and every line, if you go through this content, somewhere it may help you. Okay, it may help you. Okay, it may help you. And also, it also helps us to understand that there is a symbiotic relationship as well. Okay. So here, fig and wasp, do they have a symbiotic relationship? Fig and wasp, do they have a symbiotic relationship? Yes, they depend on one another. Similarly, whether ants and fungus can have a symbiotic relationship? Yes or no? All of them, they can have a symbiotic relationship. Okay, symbiotic relationship. So in this fashion, based on question paper, you will prepare. So no environment book can give you this information. But in what way we are thinking from the exam point of view. So after doing all this exercise, if you are able to answer around 30 to 40% of the environment related answers, it means you are on the right track. Okay, you are on the right track. I am not saying, I am not crossing 50% because environment questions are generally that tough. Okay, they are tough. What we will anticipate in the examination hall, the question will be completely different. So we should not get demoralized. So whatever the wild weapons we have built, okay, without any knowledge also which we will use, so those weapons also we will use in case of environment. Okay, in case of environment. Next, out of curiosity, now you will find what? Mahua. Okay, Mahua, sandalwood, silk or cotton. So I want to add some information because for every question, without adding information, I can't move forward. So what information you will add? Yes.
Mahua minor forest produce.
Okay, Mahua minor forest produce. Next. This type of which tropical deciduous or tropical evergreen, that you will add. So already we know that Mahua belongs to what kind of forest? Tropical deciduous. Okay. Sandalwood, tropical deciduous. So whether similar kind of entity exists with fig, just search it. Whether fig belongs to tropical deciduous or evergreen, such kind of things exist or not. Yes. Here we will not do that exercise. Okay, we will not do because we can do it. It's not wrong. But generally, if you look at them, sandalwood is a tree. Mahua is also a tree. Okay, out of curiosity, you can do it. Not wrong. It's not wrong. I am saying. But from exam point of view, whether it completely fits in the exam's demand, I am not sure here. Okay, I am not sure here. In other cases, you can do it for papaya, for banana, for apple, for what grapes. You can do that exercise. Okay. Tropical rainforest, fig. Okay, tropical rainforest. Deciduous. Okay. If you're, yes. Because fig do we find in India? Yes, India also we have. So here for time being we'll leave it. Unnecessary if it is causing confusion. We don't want to search more and do a research there. We'll leave it there itself. Next, silk cotton. What? Okay, that woody stuff and all again if you want you can just add it. The type of species that information also you can add for all of them. Okay. All of them. Next, silk cotton, whether it is deciduous or evergreen. Deciduous, so we'll add it. So in this fashion, you'll continuously update the content. But again, while updating, we need to know where we have to stop. All the update will not happen in one go. In the first go, you will understand minimum. In the second go, if the time permits you, we will go for the next level. Okay, next level. At least some things which I have focused, so you'll go through that. Okay, we'll go through that. Now you should tell the answer. How many of the above have poisonous species among them? Here you will mark it as what? Without any second thought, all three. Okay, all three. If there are 5 species, not all 5. There it is 3. Because it is a wild guess. You don't have to apply knowledge. Now you cannot find a list of frogs which are poisonous. You cannot go and find a fish which are poisonous. So you just don't do that exercise itself. Even if the question goes wrong also it is okay. Okay. But the benefit ratio is very high when you go with this wild approach. You will mark all the 3. Okay. All the 3. Butterfly, fish, frogs. Now you need not add an example also, which is the largest poisonous butterfly, largest poisonous fish, largest poisonous frog, not required. We will take a generic stand, we will mark all the 3. Okay, mark all the 3. Okay. So according to the Environmental Protection Agency, which one of the following is the largest source of sulfur dioxide emissions? So what's the answer? Power plants? Power plants using fossil fuels? Or locomotives using fossil fuels? Power plants using fossil fuels. Now this question, it should become an important guide. I will call it as a static part. Because this content is not going to change and we need not explore heavy information. Okay, only on some information we will focus. Now what is the information that we can add based on this question? I think previously also we had discussed about it. Now sulfur is, yes, other, not greenhouse gases. No, sulfur dioxide, it's a pollutant, not a greenhouse gas. So what we will do is, okay, for greenhouse gases also we require that we will keep it separately. Here in the case of pollutants, so we have to stop somewhere, right? Because there are hundreds of pollutants. There are hundreds of pollutants. So at least we should minimize the number of pollutants. So on which pollutants we will focus? We will focus on the pollutants which are part of the air quality index. And we will also focus on the pollutants, apart from the air quality index, on the pollutants which are part of National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Okay. Now can you make a list? SO2, already it's over. Next. NO2, next. O3, next. PM 2.5. PM 10, next. Ammonia, NH3, next. Okay. I think one more we have missed important, carbon monoxide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more is lead. Okay. Next, as per the AQI. AQI. As per the National Ambient Air Quality Standards, apart from these 8, we have plus 4. Which are they? Yes. Benzene, benzopyrene, arsenic, nickel. Now what we have fixed the boundary of the UPSC. That question that they can frame. Okay, that they can frame. Now, what we will do is here, which of the following is the largest source of sulfur dioxide? We will not focus on the largest source only the lone source. We will focus on the top 2. Okay, one is power plants using fossil fuels. So first largest, which is the second. See, if you are able to find the second source easily, you will add it. If you are not able to locate the second source easily, you will not struggle. We will skip there itself, we will focus only on the largest source. Similarly, we will do for nitrous oxide, ozone, PM 2.5, PM 10 and so on. So once you complete this exercise, it will boost your confidence. So this is like a static part. In coming up to upcoming 4 to 5 years, so this will not change. It will always remain same. The largest source of what sulfur dioxide which existed in 2025, the same is going to exist as the largest source even in 2030 as well. Okay. Similarly for what carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and all the other sources. Okay, other sources. So in this fashion, you will update the content. So once you do this, any question which appears on this pollutant, okay, easily you will be able to address. Okay, easily you will be able to address. So again, some other points also we can add, but now we will not do it. Later on, when such a situation arises, we will do. For example, sulfur dioxide, what kind of impact it will have on the environment? Acid rain. Now see, if we start doing this, there will be no end. So what we will do, when a question on acid rain appears, at that time the required content we will build. Now what we will do, we will only focus on the largest sources of all these pollutants. Okay, all these pollutants. Okay, just here, locomotives using fossil fuels. Okay. So somewhere in the third option, it's a bit different. Extraction of metals from ores. Okay. It means extraction of metals from ores will also what release some harmful pollutants. Okay, harmful pollutants. So out of curiosity, what you can do? So which is the industry, metal extracting industry which releases the largest amount of what harmful pollutants, and which are the pollutants? Okay, which are the pollutants? Okay, in that fashion you can just try. So invasive species specialist group that develops global invasive species database belongs to which one of the following? Okay, so what's the answer here? IUCN, right? Okay, IUCN. So previously we did not have the content, but based on this question paper, we have updated. So belongs to which of the following organizations? IUCN. Okay, IUCN. Invasive species specialist group, global invasive species database. Okay, invasive species database. So apart from the invasive species, which are the different other types of species that we generally come across? No, I'm just speaking about database. For example, invasive species database. And now we can focus on endemic species. So just what you can do is you can just find out, is there any organization which releases the list of endemic species or the list of endemic species, it maintains a database? You'll just try to find out. Endemic. Next. Invasive, endemic. Next. Okay. Now we'll do it. IUCN. You'll come to IUCN. What is IUCN? You'll prepare an IUCN. Already we have the content. Where is the headquarters of IUCN located? Probably I think Gland, Switzerland. So what does IUCN do? It prepares a red list. Okay, in that red list it maintains various categories, right? Critically endangered, threatened, all those things. Okay, all those things. Whether IUCN also mentioned the endemic list, which plant is endemic to which country? You just search it. Yes. Does it maintain such kind of list? No. Previously in some year they asked such kind of question. So it does not maintain a list of endemic species database. Okay, database. So no. So just in this fashion, some exploration we'll do, and then we'll move to the next next question. Next, as part of the options, United Nations Environment Program. So what it is? UNEP. Where is the headquarters of UNEP located? Yes, Nairobi, Kenya. So UNEP is a specialized agency of UN, one of the program and fund of UN. Okay. Next, United Nations World Commission for Environment and Development. So what is it? 1 or 2 lines of information we'll add. Okay, we'll add. World Wildlife Fund for Nature. What it is? It's a NGO. Okay, it's a NGO. So where is the headquarters of this NGO located? Yes, Cambridge. Next, there is a special logo associated with it. Which is it? Okay, panda. Okay, panda. So all these things he will revise from the static notes which I have shared with you. Okay, notes which I have shared with you. Here sometimes, okay, when it is something related to species, okay, species, generally the answer will be what? IUCN. Again, we'll take a generalist step. It's not perfect strategy, but still, when they speak about particular species and all, so such kind of data is generally maintained by what? IUCN. Okay, IUCN. So again, this is a very confusing question because there has been no source, authentic source, which can give us the conclusion. Okay, give us the conclusion. So how many of the above are generally nocturnal or most active after sunset? See here, generally nocturnal or most active after sunset. Now here, all the three might be nocturnal, might be active after what? Sunlight. So, but which one are generally nocturnal or most active after sunset? So can any of you just go through it, because when we searched, we are getting a very diverse answers, and now in this year I are not cross verified. Just go through the answer, whether it's 1 and 2 or 1, 2 and 3. Only 2. Which are those 2? How come you come to know that somebody else is not part of it? Diurnal. Okay. Which is source? Okay. So previous year when the question was framed, so all of them they gave different answers. But of course the UPSC answer key was released. Okay, it was different. So now here it's a bit confusing, because if you refer the internet, so lion-tailed macaca, what they have mentioned? Diurnal, nocturnal. Malabar civet, diurnal. Other 2 are nocturnal. But here I will just pause, because after searching also I did not get about conclusive information. So hence in such cases what we have to do? Here we will not go for all the 3. Okay, all the 3. When it comes to nocturnal and other, it's difficult. And see, even after searching, if you are not able to get a concrete source, you will not waste your time here. Okay, you will not waste your time. Which of the following organisms performs waggle dance for others of their kin to indicate the direction and the distance to a source of their food? Honeybees, right? So here, based on this question, I have added a content. I have updated a content. What I included here is the communication related behaviors. Just go through that page. So this is a communication related behavior. So you communicate about the food source. Similarly, there are some other species which also exhibit these kind of communication behaviors. Okay. So just go to the page number and let me know the page number as well. 599. It's there, this waggle dance content is there. Just check it whether waggle dance content is there or not. It's there? Okay. Then if it is there, then you mention about the other species which I have mentioned there. What is their behavior?
Tactile communication.
Okay. By whom? Tactile communication by whom? Have mentioned about the ants there, just to verify. Okay. Ants? Okay. Ants, chemical, there's some technical word I used. Probably I think PHEROME, pherome. Yes. Okay. So ants, next.
Honeybees also there.
Honeybees is there. Okay, I included. Next.
Moths, tiger, deer.
Moths, tiger, deer. So all of them are mentioned. Okay. What you can do? You can go through that content. When you come across this question, you just go through that content. Again, it's not necessary for you to go through each and every line. Okay, every line. At least if something arouses your curiosity, you just go through that content and you just prepare. Okay, prepare. So honeybee executes this behavior. Okay, this behavior. Just look at the image of butterfly, dragonflies, and wasp. How do they look? Okay, how do they look? So whether butterflies are involved in such kind of communication, yes or no? Okay. So dragonflies, whether they are involved in some kind of communication. Similarly about wasp. Okay, wasp. Next, butterfly is an insect.
Yes, sir.
Dragonfly is an insect. Honeybee is an insect. Wasp is an insect. Again, we will just verify. here. These questions, you will not think wherever there is some, no, because if you start thinking, then overthinking will happen and you will end up marking a wrong choice. Okay, so whenever some mushrooms have a medicinal properties, some mushrooms have psychoactive properties, some mushrooms have insecticidal properties, some mushrooms have bioluminescent properties. Okay, so here you just directly mark it as all the four are correct. All the four are correct. Now see here, previously such questions were more. Wherever some the term some appears, then you will eliminate that option. Oh sorry, that will be part of the answer. So that kind of strategies they used to follow. But there are many such kind of questions. Now starting from 2022 and all, there are such questions, but hardly one or two. And for those one or two questions, they will also not take risk and we will also not take risk. What we will do? Directly we will mark it as what? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So even if it goes wrong also, it's okay, but we will mark it as 1, 2, 3 and 4. Whenever for all the options it has been mentioned as some. Okay, some. This question is very, very confusing because after searching answer also, still I am not clear which option is right. Okay, so I leave it to you as an exercise. Just hardly spend around 10 to 15 minutes time on this. If you are unable to come to a conclusive conclusion, then you just skip this. Okay, skip this. Will not waste our time. Okay. So this is a 2023 question, right? So already I mentioned, right, some. Okay, again based on this content also I have compiled some extra information. Some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature above the boiling point of water, above 100 degrees Celsius. Yes. Some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature below the freezing point of water. Yes. Some microorganisms can grow in highly acidic environment with pH below 3. Yes. So out of curiosity, again what I have done here is highly alkaline environment. So pH 9 to 10. So again that is also pH about 9 to 10. Yes. So can you similarly raise few more questions in this context? Highly acidic, highly alkaline, high temperature, low temperature. Next. Okay. Otherwise leave it in the content, it is there, you can go through. Afterwards, if a question raises, you just search and you mark it. But generally, what we will do, we will take a stand that all the three are correct. Okay, all the three are correct. So, which one of the following makes a tool with a stick to scrape insects from a hole in a tree or a log of wood? Vidyalakshmi will tell. Yes, it is orangutan. So what will be the strategy here that we are going to use? We'll focus on great apes. Okay, we'll focus on great apes. So which are the great apes? Orangutan, chimpanzee, bonobo, gorilla. Okay. So when you are preparing this, what you will do? You will only prepare this list. What you will do? Countries where they are located, because similar kind of question has been asked in 2024 or 25? 24 or 25 I guess. 25? 24? Oh, in geography we have discussed, right? During the discussion of geography we have discussed. So again the same thing you will revise. So where are orangutans located, where are chimpanzees located? Okay, again don't point the classroom. Vidyalakshmi has attributed these names to all the individuals. Okay. Next, fishing cat, otter, sloth bear. You can just look into the images of fishing cat, otter as well as sloth bear. Next, in this context also itself out of curiosity. So orangutan, when you look at this, great apes. Okay, how many great apes are there? 4 apes. So are there any ape species in India? Yes, which is that species? Hollow gibbon. So where it is located, where it is found generally? Northeastern. So all these things, see, repeatedly you will revise. Okay, repeatedly you will revise. Okay, in this context you will revise all those things. Okay, you will revise all the things. Okay. So consider the following aerosols, foam agents, fire retardants, lubricants. In the making of how many of the above are hydrofluorocarbons used? Okay, hydrofluorocarbons used. So now officially we know what's the answer. Yes, they are used in aerosols, foam agents, fire retardants. They are not used in lubricants. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. Now next in the next upcoming year, if they frame a question in the making of how many of the above are these used. So hydrofluorocarbons. So where we have learnt about hydrofluorocarbons? Yes. In greenhouse gases we have come across hydrofluorocarbons. Yes. Even? No. Okay. We have come across ozone depleting substances. When it comes to ozone depleting substances, where there we have come across hydrofluorocarbons. Next, chlorofluorocarbons. Okay. So here you will discuss about what we will go into the content of ozone depleting substances. So whether hydrofluorocarbons, whether they are ozone depleting, just search it. Perfluorocarbons are ozone depleting. Whether hydrofluorocarbons are ozone depleting or not, just search it once. You just check it once.
No, sir.
They are not ozone depleting substances. Okay. Now in refrigerants, do we use hydrofluorocarbons? Yes. So previously we used to use chlorofluorocarbons, but chlorofluorocarbons are ozone depleting substances. Hence to replace them we brought hydrofluorocarbons. Okay, hydrofluorocarbons. So now presently we are trying to phase out chlorofluorocarbons. At the same time we also want to phase out hydrofluorocarbons. Okay, from the refrigeration and other process. Not because they are ozone depleting, but because they are greenhouse gases. Okay, they are greenhouse gases. So in the context of ozone, we have declared about a convention, if you can recall. Which is the convention associated with ozone? Cartagena? Kyoto? That dialogue again I will remember. Kyoto Protocol is associated with climate change. Yes. Vienna Convention is associated with what? Vienna Convention. Vienna Convention, it appears in twice. Once in the context of international relations. Okay. One more is in the context of ozone. So we have particular what protocol associated with it. Which is that? Montreal Protocol. Okay. Montreal Protocol. So all those things will revise. Montreal Protocol. It means here, what is the focus of the question? He is focusing on the substances which are used for refrigeration and other purposes. Okay. So here chlorofluorocarbons, where all they can be used. Hydrofluorocarbons, now we want to phase it out as per the Montreal Protocol. But where are the hydrofluorocarbons used? Okay. Here we use hydrofluorocarbons. So in this fashion, what is the background of that question? We need to understand it. Okay. We need to understand the background of the question, and hence we have to prepare accordingly. Okay. Accordingly. Similarly, what you can do here is, apart from chlorofluorocarbon, we use hydrofluorocarbons. Which are the other substances that are used in replacement of chlorofluorocarbons? Okay, chlorofluorocarbons. For them, you can find out where they are used: aerosols, foam agents, etc. Okay, etc. So again, this question has also caused confusion. So carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against climate change. Okay. So option 1 is correct. So climate markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against climate change. Which year question it is? 23 or 22? 20? Yeah, not for 24. Already we have come to 22 or 23. 23 itself. 23. Okay. So carbon market. Again, that question directly or indirectly it has reappeared. In 24 also it has appeared, in 25 also appeared. So in 25 there is a question related to what? Article 6 of the Paris deal. Okay. So it consists of both what? Carbon climate plus non-market related activities as well. So day before yesterday when we were discussing, we came across what? Article number 6. Article number 6. So it means it's a very important topic. Okay. And carbon market, this has been appearing repeatedly. Almost if you look at the past 10 to 15 years question papers. So not every year, but at least after 2 to 3 years or 4 to 5 years, there will be a question on carbon market. So carbon market transfer resources from the private sector to the state. Okay. So this option is was confusing. Initially, they had given multiple different sources had claimed that the second was correct, but now it is wrong. So, carbon markets, they do not transfer resources from any sector to what? It can happen from private sector to, what's the answer here actually?
From state to private sector it can happen, but not the other way.
No, on that day we had discussed, right? So, from private sector to private sector also it can take place. From private sector to state, also state, not state, from private sector to state, from state to private sector. So, anything can happen. Because here what you will do, whatever the extra carbon credits are there, you will sell it to others. When you are selling it to others, either I may be a government entity selling to a private party, or I may be a private party selling to a government party, or I may be a private party selling to another private party. So, it can be either from private sector to private sector, or it may be private sector to government sector, or it may be government sector to government sector, or it may be government sector to private sector. Private sector. So, this question is very, very confusing. But again, based on some research, we came to a conclusion that as a result of carbon market, so the resources can be transferred from any sector to any sector. Okay, any sector who participates. Okay, who participates. It's okay. It's B. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Okay. So second statement is also correct. Why it is correct? Because they are not stated that carbon markets transfer resources from the private sector to state only. If they had made this statement, then second would have become wrong. Okay. So carbon markets transfer resources from the private sector to the state. Yes. If they replace private sector to private sector, correct. So public sector to private sector, correct. Okay. So public sector to public sector, that will also be correct. But if they only add only, then it would have become wrong. Okay, it would have become wrong. So both 1 and 2 are correct. But this is not the correct explanation for 1. Carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against climate change. Yes, they are important tool. But not only because it is being transferred from private sector to state sector. Okay, because internally, based on the market, the carbon credits are being traded. Okay, traded. That is the reason. But again, on top of that, there will be a confusion which will always prevail. Okay, which will always prevail. Now, already we have an answer. So both are correct, but 2 is not the correct explanation for 1, because in case of 2, it can happen from private to private, private to government, government to private, and government to government. Okay, government to government. So this question was also confusing. Okay, so consider the following statements. Once the central government notifies an area as a community reserve, so basically in the question itself there is a mistake. Okay, in the question itself there is a mistake, because who can notify an area as a community reserve? State government. Okay, state government will notify an area as a community reserve. Who can declare an area as a conservation reserve? So in this year our notes, complete detailed information I have given, you can just go through it. Okay, so the question itself means the first statement itself is what confusing. The chief wildlife warden of the state becomes the governing authority of such forest. Okay, no. First, who will become the authority of such forest? Yes, some local one personality is there. I am unable to recall the name. No, not wildlife warden. The local community itself, they will form what one head will be elected. You can just go through country. Yes, community reserve management committee. So that is very important. Here it is. Community reserve management committee. So they become the governing authority of such forest. Hunting is not allowed in such area. True. Hunting is not allowed in any area. Okay. True. People of such area are allowed to collect non-timber forest produce. People of such area are allowed to allow traditional agriculture practices. Now here the question is, the official answer key which they have released is only 2, I guess. Just check it once. Official answer key. Those who are joined in online mode, can you just reply? Official answer key. Only. Okay, it's only 2. Now the confusion here is, second one is correct. Whether third one is correct or fourth one is correct, still it is confusing. Why it is confusing? Because people of such area are allowed traditional agricultural practices, whether they are allowed or not. So in this context, what do we understand by traditional agricultural practices? Yes? Slash and burn means you are pointing to jumming cultivation. Okay. So if that cannot be allowed. Okay. So here traditional agricultural practices means normally, for example, the normal crops which we grow, traditional agricultural practices. Without using much synthetic fertilizers and all, so they all come under traditional agricultural practices. Now, people of such area, yes?
Mixed cropping, crop rotation.
So, traditional cropping? So, see here, there is a confusion because some other sources, what they will do is, whenever they mention about traditional agricultural practices, they go as you mentioned about what, jumming cultivation and all. So, if you do that, that will be harmful to the forest because you have to cut down the forest, okay, and then you will grow the crops. So, whether they are referring to that kind of practice or normal practice, then what is opposite to traditional agriculture practice?
Modern.
So, what are the practices as part of modern agriculture practices? Drip irrigation, mechanization, okay, pesticides, hybrid varieties. So, all these are what modern agriculture process. So, here is the confusion. Whether fourth one is right, or people of such area are allowed to collect non-timber forest produce. Okay, so I tried to search information so that to go to its depth, but I have been unable to locate it. Okay, locate it. So hence, what you do, you just don't try to go into deeper aspects. For time being, you completely ignore this information. Whatever the information I shared in the notes, you just go through it. Because basically, a community reserve itself can be declared by the state government and not the central government. Okay, not the central government. Okay, so unnecessarily we will not what to do the exploration exercise and confuse ourselves and also waste the time. Okay, waste the time. Okay, so the last question we will discuss. So consider the following statements regarding mercury pollution. Okay, mercury pollution. So gold mining activity is a source of mercury pollution in the world. Coal-based thermal power plants cause mercury pollution. There is no known safe level of exposure to mercury. Okay, mercury. And how are the options set? How many of the above are correct? Okay, how many of the above are correct? So this question is also very tricky. Okay, it's very tricky because especially the third one. There is no known safe level of exposure to mercury. This point is very tricky. Okay, very tricky. So, what is the official answer key? It's 2 only or 3? All the 3. All 3? Official answer key? It's all 3? Okay. Now, why they are specifically focused on mercury? So, is there any convention which deals with mercury?
No.
Minamata convention. Okay. See here, there are so many pollutants. There are so many pollutants. Whether it is practically possible for us to go through each and every pollutant? No. The pollutant for which there exists an important international convention itself. Okay, so probably with respect to that pollutant they are focused, so we shall only focus on that pollutant. So mercury. So mercury is dealt by which convention? Minamata convention. So what does Minamata stand here? Disease. So this is first it was discovered at which place? Or yes? South? No, just check it once. Japan? Yes, it is Japan. Okay. Now what you will do? Which are the top 3 sources of mercury pollution? So already they have mentioned gold, so it's true. So again for the next year when you are preparing, which are the top 3 sources of mercury pollution? Okay, mercury pollution. So coal-based thermal power plants cause mercury pollution. Okay, to some extent it may release what? Mercury as well. Okay, mercury as well. There is no known safe level of exposure to mercury. So as per the previous year answer key, all the 3 are correct. So there is no safe level, means that consumption is safe, we cannot consider. So there is no known safe level of exposure to mercury. Okay, mercury. In this context, wherever we have some international conventions, okay, only with respect to such pollutants, what we'll prepare more, okay, we'll prepare more. So mercury, what Minamata Convention on mercury. Similarly, if you come across few other conventions, for example, there's one convention on persistent organic pollutants. Which is a convention? Stockholm Convention. Okay, Stockholm Convention. So here, in case of persistent organic pollutants, what you can do? Tell me what you will do as per this question. Whether there is a safe exposure level to persistent organic pollutants. Which are the famous persistent organic pollutants? Okay, which are the famous persistent organic pollutants? So which is the largest source of persistent organic pollutants? Okay, persistent organic pollutants. In this fashion, in one go you will not prepare. Okay, so every time you look at this question, that question should arise in you. So what is the question that I have to raise to myself so that I can add the content accordingly? Okay, I can add the content accordingly. Okay, accordingly. So if this mercury, apart from mercury, if it was lead, then it would have been very easy. Why? Because the lead is part of AQI, air quality index. If they had asked about, for example, let's say arsenic, then it would have been again better, because again it is part of what National Ambient Air Quality standards. So the four: benzene, benzopyrin, arsenic, and which was the fourth one? Benzene, benzopyrin, arsenic, nickel. Okay, nickel. So that would have been better. Now it's completely different. Mercury. So we want to reduce the information. Why? In what fashion we will reduce the information? Because there is an international convention associated with what? Mercury. Okay, mercury. So in this fashion, when we compile, the content will get reduced and we will gain confidence. Okay, gain confidence, and ultimately our aim is to secure what? How much out of 10 questions? In case of environment, it's what? Maximum 4 to 5. If you are able to do them correctly, that is more than sufficient. Okay, more than sufficient. Okay. So with this question, we shall conclude today here itself. Again, we shall resume back with the next set of questions in the next class. Okay. So test I will be assigning you later on. Okay, not now.